Alabama fans, I hope you're paying attention because Kalen DeBoer just proved why he's one of the best to do it. Stick around. This is Way Offsides. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. Welcome to your favorite Alabama sports show, podcast, YouTube channel, whatever you want to call it. Way Offsides. That's way with four A's. Never three, never five, always four, just like in Alabama. Thank you for joining me today because I want to talk about something that you, as an Alabama fan, should be extremely excited about, and not a lot of people are really talking about. As the NFL draft was going on, the internet was ablaze with sliding quarterbacks and prank phone calls. And there was that was kind of the focus of everything. But while all of that was taking place, something very interesting happened in college football that not a lot of people talked about. And what that was the closure of the 2025 spring transfer portal. Now, with the spring transfer portal comes a lot of kids that are like, hey, I'm not going to play this season. I don't want to work my tail off all summer long to try to fight for a position. So I'm just going to bounce. So-and-so is going to call me from Oxford, Mississippi or Eugene, Oregon and offer me this amount of money. And I'm just going to bounce. I'm out of here. Alabama's fallen victim to that in the past under Nick Saban. Hell, the spring window last year was a pretty tough time to be an Alabama fan. I remember Hayes Fawcett, if you know who I'm talking about, over on X, just constant. So-and-so is entering the portal. So-and-so is entering the transfer portal. It was a tough time. It was hard. But not this year. Not this year. Kalen DeBoer and his staff at Alabama have made a huge statement about the culture at Alabama football and where it's headed. And you should definitely take notice. Cue the music. Before we go too far, as always, please like, subscribe. We're actually working on a brand new intro, and that intro will feature a lot of your comments. So if you feature our intro, you got to leave and a reaction. And we'd love if you'd sub. If you do that, we can keep bringing you content. The more content, the better. So do all the things. Stop what you're doing. Go subscribe. Hit the notification bell too while you're at it. Por favor. But back to what we're talking about. Kalen DeBoer and his staff, his defensive coordinator, Kane Womack, offensive coordinator, Ryan Grubb, the supporting cast around those guys, Coach Mo, linguist, Sheridan, they all just made a humongous statement that went widely unnoticed because of the controversy around the NFL draft. Alabama football did not lose a single scholarship player to the 2025 spring transfer portal. Not one. That's a huge deal. That is a very, very big deal. And it's a testament to the coaching staff and their ability to evolve when needed. A lot of people were extremely upset about the new A-Day game format. A lot of people did not even bother showing up because of the new A-Day game format. Well, that was done strategically and for a reason. I'm not saying you're not wrong to be upset, but make sure you're upset at the right people, not the coaching staff. It's not their fault. Not the ADs. It's not their fault. It's the NCAA's fault that their hands were forced to do this. But the move that they made, the strategic move they made, paid off. It paid off big time. Did not lose a single scholarship player to the spring portal. Now, there were a couple of walk-ons that left, and we wish them well. We wish them the best. We hope things work out wherever they wind up. And we thank them for their time in Tuscaloosa. But ultimately, the roster as a whole was not impacted by the transfer window. Now, we'll see what that looks like in the fall. I suspect that outside of a couple of guys who maybe aren't going to realistically be able to start at their positions. Alabama's not going to lose a lot in the fall either. But what a statement made by this coaching staff. So how did they do it? We just talked about A-Day and what that looked like and how they changed the format to protect the integrity of their roster. Well, it's not just that. It can't be just that. What it tells me from the outside looking in is that this current group of guys that are in Tuscaloosa have bought in to what Kalen DeBoer is selling them. Much like Nick Saban demanded as the head coach of Alabama, this new breed of guy that's coming into college football are buying into whatever these coaches are selling them, and they believe in it. Now, you can see this easily if you pay attention to recruiting. You hear people talk about Coach Mo. I mean, they love these folks. Coach Shep, they absolutely love these position coaches and their recruiting style. Now, you jump at the next level of coaching and you look at Ryan Grubb, Kane Womack, Kalen DeBoer, and these kids are loving what they're selling them as well. And it's leading to a culture shift in Alabama. We've been telling you for years that Alabama, even under Nick Saban, was working using the portal to trim the fat, right? There was a lot of fat in Tuscaloosa that needed to be trimmed. A lot of me players that needed to go. They needed to go. We didn't want them to go because they were good players, but a lot of them needed to. Some of those players did so and did not get drafted. You know who I'm talking about. But Alabama has done that, and they put together a cohesive group of guys, a brotherhood, if you will. And if you don't like that terminology, take it up with Cam Calhoun, because that's what he called it. He was asked about how Alabama was able to retain the retention of their roster in the spring, and he said it's a brotherhood. They're all bought into each other. They're all there to support each other. Nobody's bigger than the team's goal. Now, Alabama football shifted at some point, and listen, what I'm about to say is going to upset some people, but I really want you to think about it before you get emotional. So take a deep breath with me. In the nose, out the mouth. That shift towards me started with Tua. Tua got to be bigger than the program. It's nobody's fault. It's because he's such a likable guy. It's not like Tua didn't do anything wrong. Nick Saban didn't do anything wrong. But I can think back to quarterbacks before Tua, and there's no way they would have gotten that last drive and begged Nick Saban to give them that last drive, the one where he got hurt. Absolutely no way that happens. Tua got bigger than the program, right? And that trend continued on as Alabama's dominance over college football began to wane a little bit. A lot of people have written Alabama off completely at this point. But what I'm telling you is that for Bama, a school like Bama, who is still a roster full of 4- and 5-star recruits, still one of the talented, if not the most talented roster in the country going into 2025. If that team meshes, that team galvanizes, you've seen it, man. It's hard to beat teams like that. We saw all preseason and even during the season with Ohio State last year. Ohio State was a well-meshed team. They did a lot together. A lot of it was spiritual-based activities. A lot of it was, sharing the gospel of Jesus and things like that, right? They did that, but all that aside, what it did was it created this cohesion amongst that team that played itself out in the playoffs. We saw a different Ohio State in the playoffs than you did in the regular season. Now, Michigan still beat them, but it doesn't matter when you're holding up the national championship trophy at the end of the year, right? Who cares? So Alabama, under the tutelage of Kalen DeBoer, has built a culture that's conducive to keeping the guys that want to be there. That's humongous. That's humongous because that is part of the formula that Nick Saban used to be as successful as Alabama was for 17 years. And that's going to continue as the program, the playing style, the offense, as those things evolve along with the game. If you have Kalen DeBoer in there and he can instill this kind of cooperation, this kind of brotherhood amongst that team and get them to buy in and not just look at themselves first, if they can look externally, that's a dangerous thing. That's a dangerous thing, especially in nowadays time with NIL, the transfer portal, all these external things that can impact your locus of control. And, you know, for these kids to really buy into what Kalen DeBoer is selling them, it says something about not just the culture at Alabama, because that's a big thing. People were worried about the culture shifting without Nick Saban there. So we're shored up there. But it also says something about Kalen DeBoer's ability to lead. And after the 2024 season, a lot of Alabama fans are questioning that. They're complaining about what he's wearing on the sideline. They're upset that he's not jumping around and screaming. He did a few times. He's not Nick Saban. But if you don't have faith in what he's doing after he just went a whole portal for a month and no one transferred out, no scholarship players transferred out, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. That is a huge, huge deal. That's a big deal. And again, the story got shadowed over the Shedeur Sanders stuff with the draft and, all this other ridiculousness. But this team, I'm telling you, I really feel it. I think it's going to be very special. I think it's going to be very, very special. The 2025 team. I think that they will make a run for a national championship. I'm not saying that they're going to win it. It's a lot harder to win a national championship than it was 2 seasons ago. But I am saying that they're capable. Their leaders are capable of leading them there. The players, it's a young team, but the players have bought in. They're having fun, but they're also bought in. And the spring portal window shows that. And that should excite you. Alabama staff made a huge statement. If you agree with me, please leave a comment. Let me know. Am I right, wrong, pretty, ugly? You won't hurt my feelings. My feelings are hard to hurt. So just let me know. And while you're at it, be sure to subscribe. Share the video too. Share the video with everybody. We do have a new website we're working on. That'll be wayoffsides.com. That's 4 A's. 3's not enough. 5's too many. So be sure to check us out over there. We have a blog coming. This will be a blog. I think we'll do 3 posts a week. So that'll be something you'll want to keep your eye on and read. And guess what? You can read it for free. We're not going to charge you. Unlike some people. So until then, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.